Alright guys, you got the news, I got the news. We all know what's happening. I'm putting my hand down. I don't know if you heard that, but I'm putting it down on the table because there's a dilemma here. For one, I was technically wrong. The other, this basically gets me closer and closer to having the main event I want. I'm not saying I'm telling Ray to get this, but it's what I do want. I want Ozzy Divine Notorious Jones Jr. Unification bout for the RBC and IBF championships to unify the belts. Oh yeah, the WBA as well. You all know I wanted this one. I have said it and I have not been shy about it. So what do we do now? Khaalid Rashad's filming his movie. His second trilogy. Even though he wasn't in the first two, he is filming another trilogy. Good luck to him. I don't know if I could take that seriously. Oh, man. Good luck to Khaalid Rashad and his Aiden Rooney, Michael B. Jordan movie. There's Rocky in the background. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. He is the main protagonist in that movie, and it is going to be something, huh? This is a very big deal. First of all, you're getting Khaalid Rashad the right treatment as a former champion. Why do I say that? I have dogged on guys before, on Khaalid Rashad a few times, but at the end of the day, the dude is one of the baddest fighters in this league, and he needs to be respected for it. I mean, we give him a lot of crap, but the dude used to be the best fighter in the world. He ran into Kruzaro, yes, but he's back, baby. He proved everyone wrong. He defeated the top contender in Casper, and he went to the 6 rounds with Drew Garcia. He's a changed fighter. We'll see where he goes in the future. Now, on the hand of Kruzaro. Oh, Kruzaro. This dude is a special case of the best fighter in the world, and what is he going to do for RBC 15? Is he really not going to fight? Oh, boy. You claim the best card of all time, and you're not going to have Kruzaro fight? Well, there's 2 options on the table. One of those options is having him fight Yankowski a second time, which seems pretty damn lazy. And I don't think that's happening. Your second option, you can get risky with it, and you can get Casper the reason. Here's the best case scenario in that lining. That's not the main event, okay? No matter how you try to justify it, that's not the main event because it's not a close fight. It is just not close at all. Now, I'm not saying Casper's a bad fighter. I'm just saying when you look at when the odds come out, they will all say Kruzaro's winning this fight. Nobody is going to be saying Casper's winning this fight outright. He's going to knock him out. He's going to win by decision. No. I'm not saying he doesn't have a chance. I'm just saying no one's going to give him a chance. He's going to be a 6-1 underdog, and man, they're going to dog him for this fight. Here's the best case scenario. That's the co-main event or the third to main event, which is somewhere where Kruzaro is not very used to being because he's usually the last guy on. The guy who's expected to make something crazy. That's not the case here. Instead, he is the first title fight. Unless there is something crazy happens where we don't get NJJ versus Ozzy and we get NJJ versus Jam 3 and we get Ozzy versus Brooke and no, I don't want to go into that. I don't want to see that, to be honest, yet. Just get the unification over with, guys. We all know we want an undisputed middleweight champion. Let's get it done. Anyway, the best case scenario here is if that fight is a classic. If Kruzaro and Casper the Vries fight to the death. One of them is probably going to get knocked out, and it's probably going to be Casper. But if he puts up a good enough fight, we will be excited. For one, Kruzaro put up a great performance, and he is a highlight reel machine. And secondly, Casper proved himself. The welterweight division is not truly dead. We are not trying to find new contenders. It's just going to elevate Khaalid Rashad to a new heights. He's going to be legit. And that's the most important thing. Casper the Vries, if he... Okay, now let's get to the worst case scenario. if Casper DeVries actually wins. Why is it the worst case scenario, you ask? Well, at the end of the day, we need closure on Khaalid and Kruzaro. I'm not saying I don't want him to win. I'm just saying, business-wise, if you have that fight, you need Kruzaro winning that fight. And you need it close. It's a very delicate fight to make. I think Casper winning is not great for the sport. That is not me saying I don't want to see him win. I am not picking sides here. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, Kruzaro is the biggest star in the game. That star is very important for your company. I could be completely wrong here, and it's great for the sport. But it's gonna open questions. You're gonna have the doubters talking. You're gonna have them saying, "Well, if Kruzaro lost to him, does that mean that there was controversy in the Yaka fight? Does that mean we have to?" There's gonna be a lot of questions going around. What you want is more of intrigue. Another worst case scenario is if Kruzaro destroys Casper, and then we just really have only one true fight remaining, which is, yep, just put them together, for God's sake. Let's have it. Kruzaro versus Khaalid 4. We all know they're the two best in this welterweight division that has no future. What they need is a future in the welterweight division, and Casper DeVries is the key. He is the key. If he edges out a controversial win even, I could accept that. But if the dude goes out there and dogs Kruzaro, oh my god. That's probably not happening. But oh my god. Would the critics come out and question Kruzaro's legacy? Would they come out and basically say, what is happening? Dude, our best star in the game. You need to protect your best star. I may be speaking my ass here, but guys, this fight needs to be amazing if you make it happen. But those guys have the key to have the ability to make it great. But I say worst case scenario, I think Kruzaro smashing Casper would be more worst case, but Casper DeVries winning decisively is something that is very, very risky for the game. If he finished the dude convincingly, if it's not close, then we have a problem. Because welterweight's going to get very complicated. What we need, and I'm going to repeat it one more time for you guys: competition, intrigue, and parity. Casper winning is nice, but if you're the company, your best interest is he doesn't win outright. He needs to win either by decision or he needs to win by the skin of his teeth knockout. It's going to be a hell of a fight. Now let's get to Ozzy versus NJJ, which I want to be the main event because that also is affected by this Khaalid business. Haven't really talked about Khaalid much in this episode too. I sometimes get a little lost when I'm doing these things. Like, I just forgot what I said all about that detail-wise. But I figured it out. Okay. Now, NJJ versus Ozzy Divine. That's the biggest fight in the history of the middleweight division. Because I don't think Jakob's coming back. I've been proven wrong before. In fact, I've been proven wrong more than most people on the RBC server. You know that for a fact. Let's roll back the Harry Golovkin clip where I say he is going to win against NJJ. And man, did I eat those words. And man, am I going to have a hard time eating those words when I say this. Jakob's probably not coming back to middleweight. I just don't think so. I mean, he wants to go for welterweight, and he wants to prove he can win at welterweight. To the subject of the main man, Ozzy Divine and JJ. The middleweight division is the best division in the game. It is so stacked. You have these top 10 guys. Many of them are world title challengers, but they just seem they can't get into that top 3. This goes for everyone. And that top 2 It's time to make it happen. It is time for these two guys to finally get in there. We were talking for months about when is NJJ and Ozzy going to unify the belts? When is it going to happen? Then it becomes a conversation of when is Ozzy and NJJ going to unify belts? It's happening. It needs to happen. I don't want to see Rebel Brook versus Ozzy Divine yet. I want to see Rebel Brook versus Jam Jones. That's what I actually want to see. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all the cards on the table. Khalid Rashad is out. I just gave you a bunch of possibilities. I gave you Kruzaro versus Casper the Vries. I gave you the worst case scenarios and the best case scenarios. Best case scenario, it is a classic. It is close, at the very least. And it brings intrigue. Worst case scenario, one or the other. Either Casper turns it into pure chaos and destroys the best thing the sport has, or Kruzaro basically just proves there's only two guys in the welterweight division worth talking about. And as middleweight, we have the fight we all wanted to see. Alright, let's get into heavyweight one more time. And heavyweight's very important. We need to discuss heavyweight one more time. And I'll have a whole video on this when the fight is released. And I don't know. I know that's the fight that's going to happen without knowing. Anyway, Bugatti versus Tams King is a huge deal. Is that going to be the main event? It's a very big possibility. It's whatever Ray decides should be the main event. It's a coin flip in his eyes and my eyes. I prefer Ozzy versus NJJ because of the fight power. Because of how good that fight's actually going to be. Because it's going to be fight of the night guaranteed. I'm not going to discredit the fact that Bugatti and Tams King are two of the heaviest punchers in the heavyweight division's history, and this fight's going to prove who the greatest heavyweight of all time is. That's also a big deal. So, you have your two options. And you have the option of Kruzaro versus Casper the Vries, which I've thrown out there, not being the main event, but it's on the card as a championship fight. Because I think that's the only fight I would entertain right now with Kruzaro. If you're going to have Khalid Rashad shooting this Creed movie, I feel like that's the fight to make. However, it's a risk. Which is also the risk of your main events. What main event is... I think the bigger star power is at middleweight. I think the better fighters are at middleweight. I think the heavyweight division has more consequences on who the greatest heavyweight of all time is than at middleweight. Because, obviously, you're going to have the conversations of, well, Jacoby and Kowski beat NJJ, and, well, Ozzy never fought Jacoby and Kowski. What are we going to say at heavyweight if Bugatti or Tams King wins? Closure. Fishy Fury may come back, we don't know. But what we do know is that we have closure of some sort. We won't ever have closure at middleweight, and we'll never get it. Who cares? Only closure we'll get is who's better between Ozzy and NJJ. Wow, that's a lot of consequence for a movie Khalid Rashad's going to be shooting. I can't wait to see it. It's probably going to be pretty damn good. Or it could be a dumpster fire. You know, once you get to the third movie of series like that, it starts to get a little stale. I don't know. But whatever. So the question I have for you guys is, Kruzaro versus Casper. Am I right? Or am I talking out of my ass? Comment. I want to see your comments, guys. I'm not asking you to subscribe. I'm just asking, what is your feedback?